Hello. Hello. Pardon me a moment. Okay, listen. If this is your first time seeing Reverend Matt's Monster Science, please, your first video that you've seen on my channel, please pause or stop and go watch something else. This is not a video that is going to be indicative of what Reverend Matt's Monster Science is like. For a couple of reasons. One is those little circles. I don't know why those circles are there, and I'm not going to bother fixing them. This is something I'm doing by popular demand. It is in the moment. Which is part of the larger principle of these things usually being a good deal better prepared. I write Reverend Matt's Monster Science in advance. I have a slideshow. I do not have a slideshow today. I have not written anything in advance. I am simply going to be speaking extemporaneously because of popular demand. More important than that is that normally Reverend Matt's Monster Science, all the time, Reverend Matt's Monster Science is about joy, is about enthusiasm, is about celebration, and this is not going to be. This is instead why you must not see the movie 65, and it's not for ethical reasons. It is because it is a terrible, terrible film. But yes, so this is not the kind of thing I normally do, but this is a dinosaur movie, and there are expectations placed upon me by my community as to what happens with dinosaur movies, which is that I speak on them. And unfortunately, in this case, I must speak on them honestly. Well, I always speak on them honestly, but in this case, that honesty leads to very great negativity. So, are you ready? Then we'll begin. So, the first thing that again my status in the community is requires is that people understand that is that I review the dinosaurs as far as their accuracy is concerned. I've done this for Jurassic Park. I do this for all the dinosaur movies, and unfortunately, however, there is very little point in doing this for the movie 65 because the dinosaurs were pretty much out of control. I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know what dinosaur this is even supposed to be much of the time when the dinosaurs are on screen. I mean, there's a raptor type, and there's a tyrannosaur type, and then there's a couple of others that are just made up reptile monsters. And I'm all for made up reptile monsters, but I can't do the dinosaur accuracy because there's a 1960. Look up The Lost World 1960. There was a film of the old Arthur Conan Doyle story made in the year 1960, in which the dinosaurs are all weird projected living lizards that have had spikes and fins glued to them. And I don't mean that like they have stegosaurus plates glued to them to be a stegosaurus, or like a triceratops frill and horns glued to their head to be a triceratops. No, just random spikes and frills are glued to them. And dinosaurs, that's fine. What do you want? Dinosaurs. And what you get in the movie 65 is essentially that, only for millions and millions of dollars. And I'm all for crazy reptile monsters. No one is all for crazy reptile monsters than I am. But if you're just doing crazy reptile monsters, and you're not doing actual dinosaurs, then there's no point to even having them in the Mesozoic. Just put them in, I don't know, the Tokugawa shogunate, the Battle of Verdun. I mean, I would be first in line to see those movies. But if you make a movie about the October Revolution and there's reptile monsters in it, someone is going to call you out, and that's what I'm doing right now. But more importantly than the accuracy of the dinosaurs or complete insane lack thereof is how they're handled in the narrative. I mean, I recognize that the accuracy of the dinosaurs is just my own wank, but the thing about them is that they're not in it very much. They very rarely appear. Whenever they appear, it is for like they pop up out of nowhere and are immediately shot with the hero's laser rifle, which is good enough to hurt them, and then they're gone. And then we move on to the quicksand scenes, which is of course what we were all really there to see. And and you never see them. I mean, you see a little bit of them, but you never really get a good look at the dinosaurs. Now, the argument I'm sure about never getting a good look at the dinosaurs is that things are scarier when they are unseen. And this, of course, is true. This is one of the rules of horror construction that you really can't mess with. That, yeah, the unseen is scarier than the seen all the time. But monsters are nevertheless a thing that you design. And and I mean, take Alien, the 1978, 1979 Alien with Sigourney Weaver, a masterpiece of the unseen monster, uses that technique exquisitely, and yet still at the end you know what the creature looks like, and you get the chest burster even before that, which is not what the creature ultimately looks like, but still a horror based on what it looks like rather than it's being invisible. And there's just no point to building a monster and not showing it at some point. I mean, yeah, show it at the end once it's not scary anymore. Fine, but show it. And more to the point, is this is the only dinosaur movie, and I use the term generously, but this is the only dinosaur movie I've ever seen that doesn't luxuriate in the dinosaurs. Every dinosaur movie, it gives you some dinosaurs to look at because that's what I mean. They're extinct, but that's what the image of dinosaurs is for: is their power and majesty and beauty and terribleness or whatever you want to call it. But you want to look at the dinosaurs, and this doesn't want to look at the dinosaurs. This movie seems to not want to have dinosaurs in it. They never like I said, they pop up and are immediately dispatched. You never get to see them like stalking anyone. It's just a complete waste of the whole concept of dinosaurs. You don't know what they're doing there. They're yeah, it's a dinosaur movie that doesn't seem to want to have dinosaurs in it. So that's very bad. One bit of again wankery that I will indulge in is that the whole shtick is that Adam Driver, who is the only speaking character for all intents and purposes in the film, is a space alien from space who crash lands on Earth, and it's dinosaur times, except it's not dinosaur times, and that's and he's a perfectly human space. He's an American space alien, for God's sake. His motive is to get a better job so he can afford his daughter's health care. Yeah, not merely human, but in fact, our neighbors and so there's no point to his being a space alien other than his being available to crash into the Earth in 65 million years BC. And then there's no point to the dinosaurs being the dinosaurs. And everything we know, and I'm sorry about the spoilers, but I'm telling you not to see the movie. And then also all of these spoilers that I've just given you are in the first 5 minutes. You find out that he's an alien crashing into dinosaur Earth immediately. So, I mean, be mad if you want, but this is what's happening. So anyway, the thing about it is all of this about his being a space alien and crashing into Earth is told in the first couple of minutes by text on screen. Nobody ever says anything about any of this, and because there's really only one speaking character, and if they just changed the text, and this is all nonsense. If they changed the text, I mean, certainly Americans in space 65 million years ago is bullshit, and the dinosaurs are crap. So if all they did was change the the script of the text on screen to say that this was the future and Adam Driver was a human from Earth, and then he crashes on some planet with horrible reptiles and no plant eaters, by the way. All the dinosaurs are vicious carnivores, which is not how dinosaurs work. But sure, make that an alien planet with reptile monsters that's about to be hit by an asteroid. Sure. I mean, that's not the most sensible thing in the world, but it's 100 times more sensible than 65 million years ago American crashing into planet with not dinosaurs. So anyway, I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking that, oh, just turn off your brain and have a good time. Well, first of all, I need my brain to think and to run my heart and stuff. Brains are very important. Second of all, I'm actually not. If you think that I never turn off my brain and watch a movie with dinosaurs in it, then I have a terrible surprise for you. I enjoyed Jurassic World Dominion, for God's sake, which was so dumb I can't even believe it. But yeah, dinosaurs and chasing motorbikes and stuff. I had a wild time, and that was fun. And that is the final reason not to see 65. 65 is boring. 65 has no stakes. Nothing really interesting happens. Nobody's ever in any really real danger. I have already given you all of the character notes of basically the single character. He has no arc. He has nothing to endear you to him other than him being the only person in the movie. I mean, he has a girl that he is protecting, but she does not speak English as he does, and we won't get into that. But so she's just an object of care, rather than and she's just a rescue. I mean, she rescues him once because that's de rigueur for these things. But no, there's one guy. He has no character notes. There's a girl who doesn't speak English and has no character notes. And there's no stakes, and nothing makes any sense. And it's just I wanted to like it. I was hostile. I mean, there was an image in one of the trailers of a featherless raptor, and we're past featherless raptors now. I have no patience for featherless raptors, so I was a little grouchy about that. But I was, but I go to dinosaur movies hoping to like dinosaur movies, and this was just a complete waste of time on every possible level. Um, I hope watching this video was not also a complete waste of time on every possible level, though I'm obviously not guaranteeing that. But there has been much clamor, and I hope that it is satisfied. Please contact me with any questions about further explanation of why you should not see the movie 65. In short, you should not see the movie 65 because you are mortal and you have an infinite number of better things to do, including bang your head against the wall.